Hello guys and welcome to the second episode of the Cura Advanced Settings 2019 here at Architects 3DP. In the last episode, we downloaded and installed Ultimaker Cura and also made custom profiles for our 3D printer, the Architects 3DP i3, as well as the filament we're going to be using for this series. Today we're going to analyze the new Cura interface and all the new features that change at the first glance in the Ultimaker Cura 4.2.1 update and we need to get familiar with. But before starting, be sure to click here in the subscribe button and to ring that bell to be notified when new cool stuff is uploaded. If you do it, it will help me creating new content and growing the channel to reach more special viewers like you. When we first open Cura after the first episode of the series, we can see that the new interface in Cura 4.2.1 is much more clean and minimalist than in older versions. Before explaining the new interface, I'm gonna load in Cura the STL of our 20mm test cube. You can learn how to model it in Rhino or just download it for free in the first episode of last year's Cura Advanced Settings series that you can watch by clicking here or in the link in the description. The first that we can see in this new interface are these three main tabs on top: Prepare, Preview and Monitor. Right below we find a long toolbar that is divided into 4 sections. On the very left we can find the Open button, where we can import any kind of 3D file. Next we have our Printer section, where as you can see we have selected the Architects 3DP i3 2019 I created in the last episode. Next we have the Filament section. As well we have selected the green PLA we created in the first episode, labeled under our custom brand 00_Architects3DP. Finally we have our basic settings section that we're gonna see in the next episode. This toolbar changes if we navigate in between the main tabs, as you can see, but we're gonna see these changes after we analyze the rest of this main screen in the Prepare tab. Here on the left we have a vertical toolbar that is going to allow us to transform the STL we imported, and it will only work if we have selected a 3D model. The first icon will allow us to move it, well, from the arrows or writing here in the boxes. Second, scale it. Again, you can scale it from the arrows, changing the values here in the dimension boxes or percentage. With the next tool, we'll be able to rotate it in every axis. We'll also find here a very cool tool that will be very useful for complex 3D models. And this one that will orient the 3D model with a flat surface in contact with the build plate. And also this icon that will reset the original position. Next tool, Mirror. You'll be able to mirror the objects in every axis. Finally, the last two tools are more complex and we'll analyze them in more advanced episodes of this series. Alright, so next, in the bottom left corner, we can find the name of the model that will be the name by default of the file when we export the G-code, and we can change it directly from here. On top we have a list of objects in which, as you can see, we only have this test cube, and if we click on it, we'll select the 3D model in the build plate. Right below the name, we can find a very useful section that will inform us about the volume occupied in X, Y and Z. Despite you can think that is an obvious information, since the cube measures 20 by 20 by 20 millimeters, it is actually very useful because you will know the exact volume in X, Y and Z, for example if we rotate this model like that. As you can see, now the orthogonal dimensions are exactly this one. It is in some cases a very important information, especially when you are slicing a big 3D model. Finally, at the very bottom, we'll find these little icons for the views, that will set fake isometric and orthogonal views for our model. And I say it fake because actually all the views are in a conic perspective. Last element of the Prepare tab, here in the bottom right corner, we can find a box that shows very interesting information. Once the model is sliced, we can see that this print will take 18 minutes to finish. Furthermore, if we put our mouse onto this info button, we can check how much time is spent for each part of the print, such as infill, walls, retractions, skin, etc. Finally, on the bottom of this box, we can see an estimation of the filament we'll use. Since we set the density, diameter and price of the filament when we created our custom filament in the last episode, it shows that we'll use 4 grams, that is approximately 1.39 meters, and will cost us 8 cents of material. If we change it to this Sakata black PETG profile I've created before, we can see that the price changes, since PETG is more expensive than PLA. I'm gonna change it back to green PLA, and I'm going to check the last 2 buttons in this box. The blue one will allow us to save the file, save to removable drive if we have one connected, and even print via USB if we have connected a 3D printer. Last but not least, the button Preview, that will bring us to the second main tab here on top, Preview. Inside this tab, we can see that some of the elements have changed, exactly this top toolbar we announced before and these two new sliders that appeared on the bottom and right sides of the screen. With the one on the right, we'll be able to navigate up and down through the layers, from the very first one all the way up to the layer numbered 99. I'm gonna stop it for example at the layer 92 to show you some of the next features. But before that, let's check this bottom sliders function. If we click on the play button, it will start the print simulation of the layers as you can see on screen. We can also move the slider manually to go to any specific part of the simulation. Alright, so now I'm gonna check this top toolbar that as you can see has changed. Now it's divided only in 3 sections. In the first one, we'll be able to change the view type. Here we can alternate in between layer view or X-ray view. Next, color scheme. Here we'll be able to alternate in between material color, line type, feed rate or layer thickness. We're gonna be using line type 99% of the time, since we'll only use material color normally to make multicolor prints, feed rate view only if we need to check the speeds of the print, and layer thickness that we'll normally use only if we activate the adaptive layer thicknesses, as we will explain in a future episode. First, material color won't show anything special, since as I said, we'll only use this setting in case we have multiple extruders. Line type will differentiate all the type of lines in our print. As you can see, all the lines are from the extruder 1, since we have a single extruder. The helpers, that are the brim and the possible supports, in blue. This external shell will be represented in red, the infill in orange. The top and bottom will be represented in yellow. And finally, the inner walls will be represented in green. We can also show the travels of the extruder, but I don't really use to activate it, since it will make our view a bit messy. Let's tap the basic settings, a first set of adjustments that can be very useful to start in this world, especially for those who are new in 3D printing. Finally, if we press here on Print via USB, it will bring us to the very last tab on top, Monitor. Here we'll be able to pause or stop a print, preheat the extruder, manually move and home every axis of the 3D printer, and even send G-code commands directly to our machine. We'll study this tab and the basic settings section in the third episode of this series, so stay tuned for the next video. Finally, I just wanted to ask you to subscribe to Architects 3DP if you still haven't, hit the like button, leave a comment, and share this video so more people will be able to enjoy with this project. And as always, a special shout out to our Patreon supporters for making this channel possible. If you want to join them and support the channel as well, you can do it navigating to patreon.com/architects3dp, clicking here in the top right corner, or in the link in the description. Okay guys, so as always, see you in the next video.